Buddhir-bedam dhriteshchaiva, Buddhir-bedam dhriteshchaiva, Gunatastri vidam chinu, Gunatastri shana, Prokyam manam asheshena, Pritakrina dhananjaya, Buddhir-bedam dhriteshchaiva, Gunatastri vidam shnu, Prokyam jnanam asheshnena, Trikakrina dhananjaya, Buddhir-bedam dhriteshchaiva, Gunatastri vidam shanu, Prokyam manam asheshena, Pritakrina dhananjaya, Buddha of intelligence, Vedam, the differences, Drita, of steadiness, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Gunata, by the modes of material nature, Trividam, of three kinds, Shinu, just here, Prokyam manam, as described by me, Asheshena, in detail, Praktvena, differently, Dhananjaya, O winner of wealth. O winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in detail of the different kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. Purport. Now, after explaining knowledge, the object of knowledge, the knower, in three different divisions according to the modes of material nature, the Lord is explaining the intelligence and the determination of the worker in the same way. Praviktim cha nivrittim cha karya karye prajapade bandhamoksham cha yaveti buddhi saparta sattviki. O son of Prita, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. Purport. Performing action in terms of the direction of the scriptures is called pravritti, or executing action that deserves to be performed. And actions which are not so directed are not to be performed. One who does not know the scriptural directions becomes entangled in the actions and reactions of work. Understanding which discriminates by intelligence is situated in the mode of goodness. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha karyam eva cha ayatavat prajananti buddhi saparta rajasi. O son of Prita, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. Adharmam dharmam iti yam manyate tammasavrita sarvatam viparitamscha buddhi saparta tamasi. That understanding which considers religion to be religion, that understanding which considers irreligion to be religion, and religion to be irreligion, under the spell of illusion and darkness, and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance. Intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working the opposite way it should. It accepts religion which are not actually religions and rejects actual religion. Men in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance. Om Agena Timrandasya Janatana Salakaya Jaksun Militanina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Strapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadanti Svadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Bharakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagjagatam Sahagana Raghunatam Sitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopi Sa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Payevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's interesting is Krishna is instructing Arjuna here into the details of the different kinds of understanding and the determination according to the modes of material nature. And in text 32, when I read this, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, in ignorance, always working opposite. Religion, not religion, rejecting the truth and accepting the untruth. Seeing a common man as a great soul and a great soul as a common man, all this confusion. I couldn't help but think of the situation in so many countries in the world today, especially in the United States right now. There's so much of this ignorance is pervading. It's overcoming everything. And when we look at how Krishna explains ignorance earlier in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 16, I'm just going to read the verses because he gives a very thorough understanding of the difficulties that ignorance causes, how it causes so much difficulty to the living entities, and why we really need to avoid ignorance at all cost. So in chapter 16, verse 7, it starts, "Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. They say that this world is unreal with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust." Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfectly powerful and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifice. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifice in name only, without following any rules or regulations. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous are the lowest among them. I perpetually cast them into an ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable types of existence. Joe. So this is the demoniac consciousness, which we're seeing is very prevalent in most countries in the world today. And consequently, it's increasing the suffering of souls everywhere. In some countries, we're not even allowed to have Harinam Sankirtan. So our challenges become even greater in preaching and spreading this movement. But this movement is the only thing that will give relief to the suffering humanity. Is this movement that Srila Prabhupada has brought to the world. Now with demons, it's even offensive. It's even right to try to approach somebody in the mode of ignorance who doesn't want to hear about Krishna and try and convince them about Krishna. So Prabhupada has given us this special secret weapon, and that is Prasad, correct? Yes. Yes, Prasadam's so amazingly powerful. If we can just get them to eat the Prasadam right, then it'll have this transforming effect on them, where eventually they will want more Prasadam, and they will actually start wanting to hear a little more about Krishna. And actually, when I was working, I once took some rose-flavored sandesh into work and gave some to a pilot. And he took a bite, and his face all contorted, and he was so upset. And he says, that reminds me of when I was young and my mother would wash my mouth out with soap. But after some time, he took to eating more and more prasadam. It's really a lot of fun to see the potency that prasadam has on people. In LA, we have a most magnificent Rath Yatra every year. And it goes down the main street. It's 3 big, huge carts. And then it comes down to the boardwalk. And there waiting for us every year is a whole group of Christians. And some of them even dress up like cows. I don't quite get that, because they think you can eat cows, so I don't know why they're dressing like a cow. If they're asking to be slaughtered or something, I don't know. But it's kind of a very interesting time when the cart is coming down, because it has to go very slowly. It makes this really sharp left turn, and the cart has to go back and forth. The canopy has to come down. It's all very nicely done, but it's a very slow process. And so the kirtan revs up to this very loud, very exciting kirtan, and meanwhile these Christians are all shouting their slogans, and it's quite a rambunctious event. And so then the cart goes on down to the site. But if you happen to be going over to the free prasadam booth, you will see these very same Christians waiting there to get a plate of prasadam every year. It's amazing that even though they want to discriminate. Actually, one year the crowd got so upset with them, they started throwing things at them and yelling back at them. It was fun, and then also we had heard that they had started advertising, because I guess too many people had prasadam. They stopped coming to criticize the devotees. So they were advertising, they were paying people to come and criticize the devotees. But this prasadam distribution is very helpful for preaching to people in the mode of ignorance. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had instructed his disciples that first thing in the morning is we should beat our mind with a shoe. Now that doesn't mean that dirty thing we left outside the door. That means we're beating our mind with the holy name. Because when we first wake up, we're so affected by the modes of ignorance. Are we not? Oh, we need more sleep. But by chanting the holy name, even chanting the holy name before we go to sleep, clears it out, so that we can take part in these important events to insulate ourselves against the modes of material nature. And then in the verse previous to that, is O son of Prita, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. So at least there's some opening there. If a person is in the mode of passion, there's some opening to preach to them, because they know they don't understand. They have questions. So this gives us an opportunity. Arjuna was in that situation, right? In the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Actually, at first, he was actually in a superior position than Krishna. Krishna had agreed to become his charioteer driver. So Arjuna was instructing Krishna. And he instructed Krishna, please take me to the middle of the battlefield between the two armies. I want to see who's here to fight. And in doing this, Arjuna became completely illusioned and overwhelmed with grief. And so at first, Krishna tried to talk to Arjuna like a Kshatriya, one-on-one. But it didn't help Arjuna. It wasn't until Arjuna surrendered. In chapter 2, verse 7, now I am confused about my duty, have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So Krishna then instructed the Bhagavad-Gita to Arjuna, because Arjuna surrendered to him. He became humble. And this is, if we're affected by the modes of passion, we don't know what to do, we take shelter also. We take shelter of Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, right? Reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Krishna's, by surrendering to the instructions of the Guru, instructions of the Bhagavad-Gita, we develop fearlessness, freedom from anxiety, freedom from debt and obligations, and freedom from the reactions of our simple activities. In 331, Krishna says, those persons who execute their duties according to my instructions, and who follow this teaching faithfully without envy, become free from the bondage of fruitive afflictions. So, tadvidi patitpadena praprasena sevaya upadakshanti te janam janas tattva darshana. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquiring from him submissively, and rendering service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So this is how we deal with the mode of passion. And a mode of passion for the recipients of Krishna consciousness is actually a very good opportunity because we have so much knowledge we can give them. And then the previous verse to that one, verse 30. O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. So this is what we're striving for. We're striving for this mode of goodness. And Krishna again, he explains this in the very same chapter 16, in verse 3. What the mode of goodness consists of. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy, and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So this is the nature we need to attain to in order to get to the pure transcendental nature of Krishna consciousness. Ultimately, we are helpless. But we do have one small little thing, is that we have freedom of choice. So we make that choice of what we do. Srila Prabhupada established this society and all over the world, and in countries all over the world. Bhagavad-Gita class is going on today. And Srimad Bhagavatam class is going on today. And so this knowledge is available. All we have to do is make the choice to hear it, make the choice to attend, make the choice to open Srila Prabhupada's books, to follow his instructions. And this way, we get beyond the conditioning of the material world. It's interesting being in Vrindavan because we see there's so many life forms. There's cows and monkeys and dogs and pigs and so many mosquitoes. And we think, how many lives did I spend as a cow? How many lives did I spend as a mosquito? And then fall back down again. So now we're in this human form of life, a great opportunity. So, and we're all here in Vrindavan, a very special place to take advantage of these special opportunities and making the right choices. So if we want strong understanding and determination, we need to be aware of how the modes are affecting us. Krishna told Arjuna in this verse 29, he said, listen carefully. So this is probably an instruction for all of us, is that we need to listen carefully to these instructions about avoiding the modes of material nature. So I thought we could perhaps have a question for you. What can we do to avoid the modes of material nature? Is there a microphone? Is there an extra microphone? Oh, there it is. Could you pull that out? Does anybody have an answer for what we can do? Ah, yes. Prabhu over here. Huh?
He said he has a question.
You have a question or do you have the answer?
You asked the question.
Yes, he has an answer.
We have to chant Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
That is the only thing in Kali Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that we have to chant Hare Krishna.
That's very good. That's true. By chanting the holy name. But that even can be done in different modes, right? We could be chanting the holy name in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Right? Falling asleep. So we need to prepare ourselves to chant the holy name by getting enough sleep the night before, huh? Yes. What other ways do we protect ourselves from the modes of material nature?
It's okay.
Well, the people at home can hear you.
By reading Srila Prabhupada books
Thank
and associating with devotees who has already transcended those three modes.
Yeah, association with devotees is so important. It's interesting that Kamsa was so powerful, and that after he imprisoned his father, he imprisoned his sister and her husband, some of their well-wishers went to Kamsa and they tried to convince him that he was doing the wrong thing and to please, change your evil ways. And it ended up, Kamsa was so powerful that he ended up getting them to be on his side. So we have to be careful of our association. If we associate with people in the modes of ignorance and passion, these will wear off on us too. Thank you. And anything else? Yes, Gopal.
Make sure to eat only prasad.
Thank you. Yes, prasad is so important. Because if it's not prasad, it's affected by the modes of material nature. However, even prasad can be dangerous, like Mahaprasad. There's a story. Prabhupada went to this one temple, and there were two pujaris there, and they came in at different times to complain about each other to Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada called them both in, and he said, "You are both eating too much Mahaprasadam." Mahaprasadam is nice to be taken in modest quantities, but if we have opportunity to eat a huge amount of Mahaprasadam, it's meant for God, not for us. Thank you. Yes?
I think also, Mataji, to have the desire within our heart to be always the servant of all devotees especially, and ultimately of everyone.
Jai.
Become servants.
Thank you. That's a very nice answer. Very nice. Very nice. Doing devotional service. So powerful, devotional service. Its effect is glorified throughout all the scriptures. 244 of the Bhagavad-Gita, it says, "In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place." Determination is a powerful quality, but even demons have determination. Remember the determination of Hiranyakasipu? Can you imagine? He has so much determination, he was able to hold his soul within his skeleton. There was no body left. There were no organs. There was no blood. There was no life heirs. There was just a skeleton, and he was so determined. He was able to hold his soul in that skeleton. And because of that determination, he impressed Lord Brahma so much that Lord Brahma gave him these benedictions that he shouldn't have given him. So determination is an important quality, but even demons can have it. Our determination needs to be in the mode of goodness too. There's one great devotee, Acharya in our line, Haridas Thakur, who exemplified extraordinary determination in chanting the holy name. When he was still a fairly young man, there was a Ramachandra Khan who was envious of him. Ramachandra Khan was a very wealthy landowner, and he was envious that Haridas Thakur was receiving so much respect from the people, because the people could see he's a very, very special personality, and he had a strong attachment for chanting the holy name. He just lived in the jungle in a very humble bhajan kutir with Tulsi Devi, and he would chant his 3 lakhs of the holy name a day. And he would worship Tulsi, spotless character. And so Ramachandra Khan, he tried to tell terrible stories about Haridas Thakur, but it didn't work. Nobody believed him. So then he decided that he would discredit him. He would set him up and show him as a fraud. So he hired this prostitute. Her name was Lakshahira. She's a beautiful woman, very expert in seducing men. Very, very beautiful. And so he had her come or go to Haridas Thakur's hut, and he wanted her to seduce Haridas Thakur. Now Haridas Thakur was busy chanting, but he did notice when this beautiful woman came, she paid obeisances to Tulsi. And he noted she must be a devotee. And so then she started with her flirtation in her feminine ways to allure Haridas Thakur, telling him how handsome he was, how intelligent, how beautiful. And Haridas Thakur says, oh, okay, I have a vow. I have promised to chant 300,000 rounds in this month. And so I have to complete my rounds. Just sit here. Just sit here, and as soon as I'm finished, I will be with you. And I will do what you like. So she sat there, and he said, listen. So she sat and she listened, she watched. And she watched a great, pure devotee, great soul chant the holy name all night long. And the sun came up, and she was very tired and frustrated. So she left. But the next evening she came back. And again he said to her, please, just sit here and listen, and I will be with you soon. I'm almost finished. So again she sat and she listened, and all night long, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Pure devotee, this great exalted soul is chanting and she's hearing. Had to have an effect, right? But she was frustrated. The next morning she left. But then she came back and she paid obeisances and she confessed to Haridas Thakur. She said, I am so sorry, I'm so fallen. And I see that you are such a great devotee. And I was set up by this Ramachandra Khan to turn you into a fraud, but you're such a great devotee. And Haridas Thakur, he told her, he says, I know this was his plan, but I could see that you were a devotee. And this is the compassion of a great soul. I could see that you were a devotee, so I let you come and hear chanting. Now, you get some beads, you give your money to the brahmanas, you stay here and worship Tulsi, and I'm leaving. And so she became a great, great devotee, and many people came to see her and hear the holy name from her, who's heard it from a great devotee, Haridas Thakur. So his determination was amazing, even as a young man before he met Lord Chaitanya. But, you know, he went through so many difficulties. That wasn't the only one. There was another Qazi who was very envious of him. He's envious that he was Muslim. Haridas Thakur was Muslim, and he left his Muslim faith. So this Qazi who was Muslim, he decided that he would tell the governor and imprison Haridas Thakur for leaving the faith because the Muslims were in charge of India at that time, so it made them look bad. And when the prisoners heard that Haridas Thakur was coming to prison, they were so excited. Wow, he's such a pure devotee, we'll all get liberated and we'll be let out of prison. So when Haridas came and he started to preach to them, he told them, you're very fortunate to be in prison. And they were all discouraged. Oh no, what do you mean? He says, and he told them, he says, well, here you have no sense gratification. There's nothing to distract you. All you can do is chant the holy name, so take advantage of this. But it's not that I want you to stay in prison. It's just I think you should take the opportunity, the best that you can, for chanting the holy name. After some time, the governor came to Haridas Thakur, and he said, why are you chanting this name? Give it up. Why don't you just chant the names of your religion, of the Muslim religion, names of God of the Muslim religion. Just chant Allah. Just chant whatever they chant. But Haridas Thakur, he had said, you may cut my body to pieces and the life may leave it, but I will never abandon the holy name, which my tongue will ever continue to chant. So he had amazing determination to chant the holy name. And so he understood the fleeting condition of the material interest. And he understood the importance of our real self-interest. And so even after this, they decided, well, what to do with him? They decided to beat him in 22 marketplaces because they decided that if they did that, other Muslims wouldn't take up this Hare Krishna chanting. And so they took him, and these guards beat him very severely. After 2 marketplaces, he should have been dead. But Haridas Thakur, it was an amazing miracle. He was not feeling anything. And they were so distraught because they thought they would suffer. So they told Haridas Thakur, well, we're going to get in trouble because you're not dying. And so they continued to beat him. And out of compassion, Haridas Thakur said, well, Krishna, what do you want? So Krishna put him into this samadhi. And they brought his body back in front of the governor, and the governor appeared. He was dead. So they said, what should we do with him? Should we bury him? No, that's too honorable a death for him. So then they said, well, just throw him in the Ganges. So they threw his body in the Ganges, which he was revived. And then he swam to the other shore and got out chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And they were amazed. They said, oh yes, this is a great soul. A hard way to find out that is a great soul. But later with a meeting with Lord Chaitanya was so compassionate. And Lord Chaitanya showed Haridas Thakur scars on his back because he protected Haridas Thakur from that beating. So Haridas Thakur is a great acharya of the holy name, a great acharya for us in his determination to chant, because there are so many difficulties in this world, in this life. And so we're very blessed to have the examples that we have in this movement. We have a few minutes for questions or discussion.
About Dhruva Maharaj determination.
Please take the microphone so people on the internet can hear as well.
Hare Krishna. Also determination of Dhruva Maharaj. He was completely determined to see the Lord and asking the benediction for what he wanted. His determination also was.
That's true. And look what Krishna did to him. He disappeared from his sight, increasing his determination. Krishna, his pleasure in seeing our determination to see him. He's very pleased by a devotee who uses his abilities and his strengths to see him. It's most pleasing to Krishna and to the devotee. Please, Karnamrita.
Thank you for your time. Actually, when you were talking about determination, we have a modern day saint. I was thinking about Jayananda Prabhu, who was so determined to serve Srila Prabhupada, even though, he had leukemia. He didn't want anybody to know. And everybody was attached to him because of his service attitude and service mood.
It's true. We had a birthday party for him. He was confined to bed, but we wanted to have a party for him. And they made this big, beautiful cake, but we knew that he wouldn't come outside if we told him we were having a party. So we had to tell him there was something really wrong with the carts, and he had to come see. Yeah, he was a very special soul.
Thank you so much for this wonderful discourse and enlightenment. When I was walking here this afternoon, my mind was going on. I said, how do we come to the point of transcending pain and agony and stay focused in our sadhana? But when you answered my question by telling us how Haridas Thakur was being beaten up, so it was the holy name and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that protected him, and he transcended the pain and the agony and everything else. So this is my answer. So the holy name I should be holding on to.
Yes, Prabhupada says the same thing. That as we grow older, there's a lot of pain and suffering. It just comes with the material body. But by taking to Krishna consciousness and absorbing our mind in thoughts of Krishna, we'll be automatically relieved of so much of the suffering that automatically comes with the material body. And even Srila Prabhupada was such a good example of this, because at his advanced age of 70, he started traveling. But he was still traveling for so many years, and this isn't an easy thing for any of you who do any traveling at all. But a man who in his 70s having to go through, constantly changing time zones, changing climates, changing foodstuffs, it's a very challenging thing. But Srila Prabhupada was so focused on the holy name. At one time he wasn't very well. And they said to Srila Prabhupada, "Oh, Prabhupada, you should just stay in today. Don't come and give class." And Srila Prabhupada said, "No, I want to die in the field preaching for Krishna. And so should you." Yes, Gopal? Thank you.
So you were reading here from chapter 16 that there's the lists of the devotee qualities and the divine qualities and the demoniac natures. So we can look at this list and apply it to ourselves, and maybe in this long list of things for the divine nature we might find one or two that every once in a while we may touch upon, but then we look at pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, all these other things, the demoniac nature, and go, oh yeah, okay, now he's talking about me. So...
Yeah, we see our goals there, or see our goals, which direction we want to go.
We can also see how mixed it is.
Yeah.
How is it that, we see one or two qualities that, okay, yeah, I want to live in a spiritual way, I want to have compassion, but then it's so mixed with all these other things, and it's just like this sweet rice with salt in it.
This is true. We do. Good point. The thing of it is, we're in the shower. And we have to remember that about each other, too. That we're all in the shower. We're all getting purified. And yes, things are going to come out. But we're not increasing those abilities. We're decreasing. And as long as we're applying ourselves. And when they do come up and we do become aware of them, it gives us an opportunity to okay, I need to work on my conceit. I need to work on my anger or my arrogance or whatever. And if we saw all of it, we'd probably faint because it's so horrible. But Krishna is so kind. He gives us little glimpses, and he gives us the knowledge in which we can grow beyond these things.
Chapter 6, verse 24. Chapter 6, verse 24. Prabhupada narrates one story. Manaji, can you read? I read.
You want me to read it? Starting with one can execute the process?
Sparrow laid an egg.
I'm sorry?
Lost para. Chapter 6, 24.
Yes. Do you want me to read the verse?
No, not this.
The story.
Sorry, as for
Oh, the sparrow. As for determination, one should follow the example of the sparrow who lost her eggs in the waves of the ocean. A sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but the big ocean carried away the eggs on its waves. The sparrow became very upset and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not even consider her appeal, so the sparrow decided to try to dry up the ocean. She began to pick out the water in her small beak, and everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. The news of her activity spread, and at last Garuda, the gigantic bird carrier of Lord Vishnu, heard it. He became compassionate towards his small sister bird, and so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination of the small sparrow, and he promised to help. Thus Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. The ocean was frightened at this and returned the eggs. Thus the sparrow became happy by the grace of Garuda. Similarly, the practice of yoga, especially bhakti-yoga in Krishna consciousness, may appear to be a very difficult job. But if anyone follows the principles with great determination, the Lord will surely help, for God helps those who help themselves. Thank you, that was very nice.
And Prabhupada's determination. Prabhupada's determination to execute his Guru's order to preach in Western countries. At his old age, he went to. So his determination was powerful.
Amazingly powerful.
Amazing.
Yes, so true. Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Haribol. Thank you.